The Mike and Tony Show is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
What's going on, everybody? This is Bruce Leroy, and you're listening to Mike and Tony, the only podcast where we shoot the shit and keep it real.
It is episode 227. It's a Saturday morning, Pierce. We are back here in the studio. There's a lot going on in the world. It was a rough-ass week for me, fighting through like some kind of weird chest cold that seems to be going around everybody's got. It's not enough to take you out the game, but it's enough to just make...
To fuck shit up.
Yeah, just to fuck shit up. Make you super... irritable. I don't know. Can't sleep for shit. But anyway, we're pushing through. We're also doing CMAS testing. The standardized testing has begun this week. So
Kelly had that too.
Yeah. This week and next week. So I'm just glad that it's a Saturday and I'm sitting here with a cup of coffee.
It's gonna be nice today too.
Huh? Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so warm outside.
Yeah,
I literally have I don't know if I shut it or not, but I had the window open earlier. And it was not freezing in here. So, you know that's a sign that it's warming up. It's becoming summertime.
Came over and I saw that your wifey's redoing everything upstairs.
She's always got something going, bro. Yeah. I was asking her, I was like, I straightened up our bathroom. I was like, because if Mike has to use the bathroom, and she was like, no, it'll be okay when he gets here. I was like, oh, cool. My wife, for the listeners, I don't know how much we've talked about it, but my wife is she's like a carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just works all the time. She's got a little toolbox.
She's like an HGTV wannabe.
Yeah, she's really talented. She's actually really, really good at stuff. And then I told you, she just brings me in as the muscle, like when there's heavy shit to move and lift and push. Not my forte. But how's your week? How are you doing?
Week was good. It was, like I said, just little by little catching up on stuff and making processes my own. With workouts, I've changed things up because, again, I'm not going heavy anymore. So I've been doing a lot of kettlebell stuff.
Yep.
A lot of kettlebell weights and doing, higher reps. And you can still get strong doing kettlebell stuff. I'm still
that's supposed to be really good for you.
Yeah. And just mobility and stuff like that too. So I'm working a lot more on that. How Tyler was saying when he was on here before too. Yeah. Having goals for people to try to clear 24 inches on, which is pretty easy to, to do and stuff like that. Yeah. So just been doing that, keeping at that and trying to work on a little bit of more macros because we're coming into summer and
it's that time of year, my friend.
You want to be a whale out in the pool,
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Well, see, and then I got the double whammy because I don't know, man. I'm the color of blank paper. I can't say on this one because of the tattoo, but look at the underside of that arm, buddy.
That's neon.
I mean, that's neon. It's glowing. Yeah. It's brighter than
we don't even have studio lights on. That's all you over there, just illuminating the rest of the room.
Yeah. Like Casper. That's me. Speaking of which, Jaden just got back from Hawaii. And he's of the three, he's the one who completely inherited my lack of pigmentation.
Yeah.
And he did good the whole time. Got roasted the last day that they went to the beach because they both decided, young kids, man.
Yeah.
Decided, you know what? Fuck it. We've been wearing sunscreen every day. We've been doing everything right. Let's enjoy this day. I didn't even get into tan at all.
Let's get tan.
Let's see how it goes. Came home like a damn lobster. Bro, he was so red and he's peeling like crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm an old man, so I have a metal back scratcher. I have two. I have an extra one always. And so I gave it to him and he looked I've never seen that level of dopamine rush in somebody's brain. He was scratching his back. He was scratching his back, because it's so itchy.
Yeah.
But so that's many times in my life that's happened to me where you get to my age and you've learned, I don't fuck around, but I don't like sunscreen. So I'll just rough it. I'll sweat inside a long sleeve shirt or whatever I got to do.
What is it? You see, you're like, anybody seen Jay? And then you're following a trail of skin. Flakes everywhere.
It's funny you say that. They literally got in a fight about that yesterday. Jillian and Jaden. She was like, disgusting. She said it was you keep going over here. You sit on this chair in the kitchen. You go away, and then all these flakes are here.
Yeah. Especially in the kitchen, though.
Yeah. But Jaden.
Yeah, he don't care.
He don't give a fuck about it. None of that.
He doesn't care.
He's half Uncle Mark. I'm telling you, like he really doesn't give a shit. But yeah,
did they have fun at least?
Oh, they had a blast.
Did their $600 go as far as they wanted it to go in Hawaii?
They had a really great time. They got to see and do stuff. We got constant pictures of food. I was jealous of the food pics. That's it, because they were so delicious. But yeah, no, they had a good time. Dude, we were talking before the show. There's so much to talk about in the world right now. I feel like Trump and all this tariff stuff, right?
Yeah.
The dire wolves were bringing back extinct. We're Jurassic Park in this bitch around here. The Nuggets fired their head coach out of nowhere right before the playoffs. That Mexican pyramid we were talking about, just out of nowhere, just fucking collapsed. Said it's global warming.
What the hell's going on here?
Weather, yeah. Oh, you know what I did want to ask you about was you went to the History of Colorado Museum, you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that.
To the 90s exhibit. That was the main thing we wanted to go see, because Callie was talking about, like, she always talks about the 90s, what was the 90s like? And so we got to the History of Colorado, and it runs through the end of October, I believe, 2025 here. And so all the Colorado people, check that out. But yeah, it was cool. Like and it has like different sections for all the years, right? So it's 90, 91. So you're going through the different sections, and it has like this wall of like events, historical points in that decade, that year. And then they have like things like, memorabilia that is around there. Like they have Clinton sacks is there. They have like a Mike Tyson glove and all these different things, like the Broncos trophy for when they won the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
All those different things are in there, and it's really cool. But they had like the part that they had too was like a lot of the life stuff dollar. They had like a desk set up like you would see like in your house when you in the 90s. It had like a Rolodex.
Oh my god!
I had one of those X-ray phones, like the transparent phones where you can see all the guts inside of it.
Oh yeah,
remember,
the regular landline.
Yeah,
phones.
regular landline phones.
Oh my god, yes. And then a lot of times the cables inside would be like hot pink. And
so they had that
chartreuse
one, that one, and so and then they had a ton of AOL, like 500 hours, 50 hours, like discs. Remember, you would go like you get those off like the counter of like the grocery store.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you'd re-up your hours that you have.
Yeah. God, what a pain in the ass! Wasn't it such a pain in the ass back then, and we didn't realize it. That's why people are getting increasingly less tolerant and less patient and less everything, because everything's getting faster and gratification is immediate.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you got on the internet, it was a process, and sometimes it didn't work the first time or second time. Then you fucking get on there, you're on the internet, you're looking at stuff, chatting with somebody probably or some shit, and then all of a sudden somebody picks up the fucking phone.
Oh, hello?
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 No. So irritating.
And you could hear their voice on the computer because it came through on the computer.
Yeah.
Hello? Mom! Damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was like loading up pages would take forever.
Yeah.
And I think even then, like, towards the end of the 90s, close to the 2000s, when MySpace and all that stuff was coming out and being more, prevalent and everything. I think that was later in 2000s, but even 2000s, right? Yeah. Like when you had a MySpace page and you had that shit like loaded up with pictures and like graphics and like a song that came on, like if you visited your page,
take
like
6 minutes.
Yeah, dude, it take forever for your fucking page to load.
Yeah. Yeah, that was real. Damn, you know what I was thinking about too is like for young people who just don't know landline stuff at all. Like realizing that, so like landline phones for any of the super young kids out there, you would have if you had multiple phones in the house and it was all on the same line.
Yeah.
If you picked it up anywhere in the house, you could join the call.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to have 3 people at your house on the same call, you could all get on the phone. Funny, nobody ever did that. Like we didn't use it like a tool. Like, we could all have a little conference here or whatever. Yeah. Nobody did that shit. But what did happen was people, siblings eavesdropped on each other, or like parents would eavesdrop trying to hear conversations, and you could hear that click. So you might be on the phone with your girlfriend or something, and all of a sudden you hear,
was it you?
Your mom's in her bedroom on the phone. You're like, who's on the phone?
Yeah, or you'd say,
who's there? Click.
Or
and
like,
then it just hangs up.
or that's what you'd say, right? You're like, was that you or me? What? The click. Who is it? You or me? Is it your house or my house?
Yeah.
And you're like, click. Like, I knew it. I knew somebody was on the phone.
Yeah.
Or it would be worse. I think I've said this before too. Like, I had a phone in my room, and I'd be talking to a girl at night.
Sure.
And the rule was like no phone calls after 9 p.m.
Okay.
And so it'd be after 9 p.m. I'd be talking to a girl and everything like that. And all of a sudden you hear click, and you'd be quiet. You're like, "Hello? Get out the phone, Michael." Like, oh,
they went the full name, huh?
Yeah,
they went the whole name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Bye.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I remember in high school, this friend, and I wasn't even in high school. I was in middle school. And I was talking to this girl from high school. And I was so stupid, dude. I was just young, and an idiot. I'm pretty sure I was like early pubescent. Like I had no clue what I was doing at all. And I was talking to this girl on the phone, and she said, "I love you." And I was like, "I love you too." I got off the phone. Bro, my mom came off the couch so fucking fast. She was like, "What did you just say?" And I was like, "I love her, Mom." It's so stupid. When you're young like that, you just don't know.
You love everything.
I literally don't even remember that girl's name. Like, I don't. It's just random. But yeah, so that was a different time for you young people. It was.
You don't remember your girlfriend's names from back
mostly?
in the day?
Well, she wasn't not that age.
No,
there was some high school girl. What was I doing? Like, what was I? We were just talking. We'd talk on the phone.
Yeah.
What was wrong with her? And she told me she loved me. And I mean,
obviously,
I'm not.
You're Tony Toller.
Even back then, no, I was such a nerd, dude. I was such a nerd growing up. Like math team, you name it. I had no style. It was poor, so I didn't have the cool shoes. I didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
I eventually did theater. I mean, come on, buddy. I was in marching band,
rolling in bitches. He had so many hoes.
And my outfits, it was grunge 90s, and like the clothes I wore it was almost exclusively hand-me-downs. I used to wear all Mo's stuff.
Oh yeah,
he'd give me his pants, and they were like
way
back
too
then.
big.
I was like a 32 waist back then. I was wearing like 40s or 38s.
People are like, "Oh, nice Jenkos." Oh no, these are regular jeans. These are regular jeans.
Yeah, and I'd have my belt, that's the wrong size, and I like customize my own hole in it.
Yep.
Fucking be so long it's like through the loop and still hanging off the edge.
You know what people used to
ridiculous.
do back in the day too is the seat belts on the grocery carts.
Yeah. Yeah.
People used to use those as belts. So I remember back in the day,
what?
So you remember back in the day, like skaters.
Oh, okay.
They had King Supers.
Really?
And it'd be like the belt from the
that
fucking
is fucking
thing.
hilarious. I don't remember seeing that.
Really? Yeah.
In Cali, I wonder if they did. It wouldn't have been King Supers. It would because they didn't have that. It was.
Yeah.
They didn't even have.
What was your grocery store?
Safeway was the main.
Safeway, okay.
Safeway. What did we have back in the day? Save Mart. But was Save Mart fully grocery? I think Save Mart was like Kmart, like a combo.
Oh, okay.
Of like groceries and other items.
And that was my cousin was one of those people that had the grocery store belts. Yeah, because he was
so crazy.
Because he turned into like a skater.
Yeah.
He was like a super jock, right? Great at baseball. My cousin was like great at baseball.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden he just wants to be a skater. Just became a skater.
Yeah.
Doing tricks like crazy, wearing big old jeans. And he was the one that we got in that story about the pierced nipples. He's the one that pierced his own nipple in the basement.
Oh, so something me and him have in common there.
But he did it himself.
Oh, fuck, dude. No, he's a tougher dude than me.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, like that kind of wear and everything like that. But I mean, me, like I was saying back in the day, I was like, jockish. So jeans and t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
And, and structure. Like I said, structure was my clothing line. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was my clothing line, dude. It's now Express. They turned it Express,
okay.
but structure came back. I think it's sold at Sears now or something like that. But you would, like I said before, you would think I was sponsored by Structure because I had like the structured backwards visor, right? Structured
visors,
shirt,
bro.
Structured jean. Yeah, visors were the shit back in the day, dude.
Yeah, I thought
because I did my hair, right? I gelled up my hair all the time. I don't want to fucking ruin my hair with a hat.
Yeah, it's funny how you go through different phases, right? Like in elementary and middle school, I was just straight up nerd. As I got into high school, it was a little more like grunge skater, but I hung with kind of everybody. But that was sort of my style. But once I got out, are the funny ones. Those are the ones I look back and cringe. Like I call it my Eminem phase.
Uh-oh.
Because there was a period when I did have bleached hair at one point, but not the short Eminem cut.
Yeah.
But then I grew that all the way out. I had frosted tips at one point. Got that shit gone.
Who didn't have frosted tips?
Yeah, I know. But I had that was when I started going really short. Like I did recently when you guys were calling me Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I did like that haircut when I was younger. And so I had like the super clean zero all around. Fucking
high and tight.
Oh man. But visors I wore visors all the time, bro. Or like a baggy t-shirt with like a short sleeve button up over the top of it, kind of hanging loose.
Sweater vests were big too, like towards the end, right? Yeah. Wear a fucking t-shirt and a sweater vest underneath through. Yeah, dude.
So funny.
Sweater vests were in too.
Oh man,
I remember I had a fucking shit ton of sweater vests and the shirts with the stripes, just like all stripes.
Oh yeah, all stripes were big.
Stripes were huge, dude.
Yeah,
like I had like the same shirt, just different color variations of stripes. I remember.
Yeah. Damn, that's funny. I that's around the same phase too, where I was that guy, bro. I walked around in a wife beater all the time. Like I had different colors, like navy and black, and I'd walk around in a wife beater all the time.
Yeah.
Just working out all the time.
Just jacked.
Full of myself.
Jacked.
Fucking young and stupid.
I've always worn undershirts as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I
was raised to always wear them.
Yeah. I've always worn an undershirt. Like right now, I still, got the not the wife beater anymore. It's not a wife beater. It's a tank or whatever, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to say wife beater.
Yeah.
I feel like under Trump, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
I guess, yeah.
Calling each other
wife
retards
beaters,
publicly. Elon Musk, you hear that?
Yeah.
Elon Musk called, what's his name? Navarro.
Yeah.
Called him retard. He's as dumb as a bag of bricks, I think he said.
But yeah, no. I've always worn undershirts.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like before it was like t-shirts, and then it was like, the t-shirt's too baggy and it looks weird, and if you don't get the right t-shirt,
shirt fits have really changed.
Yeah, they have.
The fit of a t-shirt, because my whole life it was like I would be like 150 pounds wearing like a double X.
Oh god.
Like it was just like the thing. Like everybody wore big clothes.
Big
same
clothes.
with your pants, same with your shorts, same with everything, and that's gone now.
The back of your jeans always had rips and tears in it because you'd be dragging on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, on the bottoms.
Yeah.
Just a little trail, little tail in the back or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
But they had all that stuff at the 90s thing.
That's
they had like
cool.
the clothing. They had all the clothing and stuff there, right? Like all that kind of like the different styles, and they had all the different music there. Like, all the
much good
the
music
90s,
in the 90s.
They even had a Nintendo 64 there. People were playing Mario Kart.
Oh, fun.
There too. But they had like a whole setup, man, and it was cool. They had all the cell phones there. They had like camcorders. They had Discman, on display and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they had a whole bunch of tickets like from Denver that they showed. Like they're out like physical tickets, like to either like sports venues or to like concerts and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was telling Callie, I was like, I got a bunch of tickets in my closet. He goes, what? I was like, yeah. I was like, when I was growing up, I was like, high school and then the 20s and stuff like that. I was like, I kept every ticket.
Yeah, I remember you telling this.
Never went to like
before.
a movie that I went to. Not every. Like I tried to keep as many as possible, but I have like a whole checkbook box. Again, 90s, right?
Yeah,
a whole checkbook box
for sure,
full of tickets.
Yeah, you had to have a checkbook back then.
Yeah,
the little balancing sheet, the little thing that was inside it. You had to like take money out. You'd write it down with a pen. So crazy.
You do the deposits. I deposited this money, and
dude, so crazy how things have changed. No, you can do everything on your phone now.
Oh yeah.
Just transfer money, whatever you need to do. It's all there.
Yeah.
Same with the iPhone, you just have your pay. You have a pay system on your phone, probably, or no? Is that an exclusively Apple thing?
No, Google. You have Google Pay.
Yeah. Oh, right. There's all kinds of them.
Yeah, there's all different kinds. There's PayPal. There's Google. There's Venmo, Cash App, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
You can put your freaking credit card and your debit card on your phones and just tap to pay. Just
for sure. It's a little scary, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what everyone gets afraid of, right? That's why they have those RF ID cases or whatever, so people can't just scan your phone randomly and take payments or cards or stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so much stuff like that. I'm so nervous because I lost my Facebook. Was that this year or last year? I think it was this year.
No, it was last year.
Was it last year in 2024? Yeah. So I got completely hacked. And then Facebook never responded to me. I was begging for help. Nothing ever happened with it. It just vanished. But and maybe this is everybody. I am extra paranoid. And I do smoke a lot of weed. Actually, even more paranoid. But my phone, I get constant bullshit on my phone.
Yeah.
Constant. Everything from political shit to mortgage shit to like just whatever the thing is. Yeah. People calling. I get this one call all the time and it always leaves a very short voicemail. This sounds like it's from a prison. That's like, press 2 to accept a call from, but you can never hear the whole thing. It always cuts off. And you're like, they're just trying to get me to call them back, bro.
Yeah. So this morning, actually, talking about that, I got a message from Coinbase, quote unquote Coinbase, saying that you need to connect your new device to Coinbase, and here's your code. If you do not request this, dial this number. And I was like,
"Come on,
Coinbase is the crypto thing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No way!" And I was like, "I just looked at that this morning, bro."
Yeah. And oops. Yeah.
And before I used to get irritated, I used to not answer the spam calls because you get them so infrequently now. Like they're dumb how much spam calls I get.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so now I've been answering them.
Really?
Just for fun. Just
how's
for fucking fun.
I want to hear. What does it go?
So like yesterday,
we should get one right now live on the show. Put it in the mic.
So last night, yesterday, during work, I got a spam call, and I was like, "Hey, Jim, what's up, buddy?" And it's all, "Hello, is Michael there? Jim, what's going on, dude? Did you get the invite, bro?" He's like, "This is
up. This is so good.
This is not Jim." I was like, "Oh, who is this, Melvin?" I was like, "Oh, fucking sorry, Melvin Kruger, right?" No, this is Melvin with. I was like, anyway, Melvin. Jim didn't send. I didn't know if Jim got the invite or not.
Was this guy's name really Melvin? By the way,
that's what
a fucking name.
He said Melvin.
Accent or anything? No accent.
No, just regular dude. Yeah, but he goes, "No, this is Melvin," and I added on I was like, "Oh, Melvin Kruger." Okay, I was like, yeah. Anyways, tell Jim, ask him if he got the invite because I need everybody to get set up and prepped for this party because it needs to go off without a hitch. We just need to make sure it goes off flawlessly. And he's like, "No, this is Melvin from whatever so and so with the timeshare." I was like, wait, with the timeshare? He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "The timeshare that we're going to be at for this party." He goes, "Is that the same timeshare?" I was like, "Well, Melvin, I'm the only one that told you about that timeshare. So is that the one you're talking about right now?" I was like, "Is there a problem with the venue that we booked?" He's like, "Well, I mean, this is the one that we're talking about, the one that you need help with refinancing?" And I was like, "Melvin, why are you talking to me about refinancing, bro?" I was like, "We're just talking about getting this party set up." And he's like, no, I'm from so. And he finally got into like his whole talking and everything like that. And I was like, "Oh, you're not fucking Melvin Kruger, dude?" He's like, "No, I'm Melvin from so and so travel with the timeshare." And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't need your help then, dude. I'm good on that. We already booked our party at the timeshare. We're set up. I thought you were Melvin Kruger, and I need you to tell Jim to make sure you got the invite." "Oh, no, that's not me then." "Okay, cool, man. Well, take it easy." He's like, "Okay, bye."
Holy shit. That dude is still thinking about that.
Yeah.
That guy is still sitting there going, "What the fuck?" Mike, I'm telling you right now, buddy, record these.
Yeah.
Record them and post them. I eat that shit up. I follow like 3 different people that fuck with scammers.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God. I love that so much.
Okay.
Like I would totally watch.
Okay.
I'll be like liking it and resharing it. That shit's amazing to me.
I'll do it next time.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I like watching that one girl. She's like a young lady. She's probably 25, 30, something like that. And she does voices.
Okay.
She has like an old lady voice. She does. And she plays dumb and just fucks with them.
Yeah.
But she's really big. And so every once in a while, the scammer's like, "I know who the fuck you are. I know you. This isn't funny."
Yeah.
And they get so mad. I'm like, go try to make a living in a way where you maintain integrity, buddy. Stop.
And you gotta imagine that the scammers do probably watch videos.
Oh yeah.
Of those people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've got to.
Know thy enemy.
Keep your enemy close, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No,
okay,
I love stuff like
I'll record it.
you should record them. Post them up on whatever, Insta, TikTok, whatever. You put them on our podcast TikTok. Yeah. By the way, if you only listen to this or watch this in full form, like you're just a podcast person, also go check out our TikTok. It's Mike Tony 00 is our handle there.
And our YouTube shorts.
And our YouTube shorts. Yeah, we're getting some hits on there. Have you noticed that? Have you been looking at them at all? Yeah, we're getting a little traction. I think it's just the regular posting all the time that is keeping us going. I don't know if you know how much I have to stay on that, though. I have to keep them scheduled.
Yeah.
So right now, I've been staying one day ahead because it only takes a couple minutes to schedule out a day of posts or whatever. But yeah, anybody who's manually editing videos by themselves and posting them and doing all that, I don't know how you have a life. You don't have a life. You need some help.
Yeah,
we have
I don't know.
all kinds of cool tools online nowadays for that. But yeah, so the big thing in the news, big thing this week for the United States and actually really for the world at large has been all this tariff stuff, right? This has been ongoing for a while. They're going to have these tariffs go into effect. They went into effect. Liberation Day has come and went. We are all liberated from our incomes and security of our retirement. No,
yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know,
but he basically they literally across the board did tariffs on everybody. It's insane because there's not a lot. I feel like it's so much more nuanced. I've been listening to podcasts with different experts. When I say experts, I'm talking about people that have small businesses that work in trade and have materials that they get from overseas. And I was listening to Breaking Points, and they were interviewing this guy who has an old school denim business. So they make because denim is made different. I learned all kinds of stuff about denim listening to it, but denim is made differently now. It's a lot made more cheaply. And there's a couple of places where in the world where they, Japan is the main one where they have really high quality denim fabric that's meant for longevity. Still jeans to this day are still some of the toughest pants you'll wear. Yeah. But they used to be you'll have that shit for life. It's never gonna.
Some Levi 501s.
But just talking about there's such a lack of understanding not only from the public but seemingly from the administration as well on the nuances of how these transactions occur.
Yeah.
Because people the guy was talking about how so many of their customers are pissed because they're how come if you get a 10% increase, why can't you just lower the price that amount and just take a less of a profit? And he walks you through the chain of transactions that happen to put one product together and how in the end there's no way to do it because they also are a wholesaler. So they sell to, other places that retail it, to retail places that sell it. And so along this whole chain, it ends up being if it was a $10 increase, the customer ends up getting a $40 increase in the end when they pay. And then, he was going through all the different criticisms people were offering of well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And he's basically explaining, and he does the math for you so you can see from a business perspective, it doesn't make any sense. We're just going to lose money, or we might be able to break even. Who's going to lose? Is it going to be our retailers? Who's going to eat this cost? Do we divide it up? Yep. And it's fucking over small businesses, dude, that work like that. And then people respond with the whole, well, just make it here. That's the whole point. Trump's doing this, so as we. And then have you seen these?
Bring it there.
Have you seen these AI videos floating around? It's supposedly China ripping on the U.S., but I think it's just some people. It's these fat Americans in factories sewing
and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's not
too.
happening, dude. No. So that's the whole thing is it's all just blanketly be done. It really feels like just some average Joe is just
we have regular ass jobs that people don't want to do.
Yeah.
What makes you want to fucking think that people wouldn't do production?
We want to go back to textiles in the U.S. What is wrong with you, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm a dummy. I don't know nothing about economics but I told you before the podcast, I haven't really verified it or been able to see where the truth lies in this. But supposedly he's made 50, Trump has made 50 deals. And they're on his goal 90, for 90. Yeah. And they were
90 in 90 days.
Right, and they were citing specific countries, where Vietnam, some the EU, did it lower or remove all tariffs. I can't remember what they did. They had some response to it. Vietnam had a positive response. Israel, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Is it real? Is he really cutting all these deals? Is this real? Like, is this actually going to work, what he's doing? And because I'm a dummy, I feel like I don't know. But when I really look into things, it just seems like this dude's just throwing shit at the wall. He's fucking throwing everything.
Well, I mean, the only
sink.
real deal that matters right now
doing?
is
China,
right? Like I was telling you,
China has all the power.
Yeah, we like 85% of like the world's goods come out of fucking China. Right. Everything is done out of China. I think what was hilarious is Apple's in China, right?
Yeah.
That one that they did. What did they do? They flew 5 flights of iPhones, from to avoid the Trump tariffs. They put them on flights instead of do the whole process of.
Wait, they put phones on flights?
Yeah, 5. Yeah, it was like let's see here. 5 full planes of iPhones and other products from India. Oh, from India, not from. They're made in India. From India to the U.S. in 3 days, in the final week of March, so they can avoid all the tariffs. Put them on commercial flights.
Dude, I don't. It would honestly be pretty wild if the whole thing worked. Like all of a sudden we become like this super wealthy country, but I feel like we're living in fiction land. I'm like, is this real? Is this really? I don't know. Is it going to work? Who knows?
Well, it's so funny because who was saying something? Oh, it was the reel of Dave Chappelle. I was saying Trump's doing all these wild things, and then he's like, this motherfucker just be saying wild shit and be doing wild shit. This is before he was the president, right?
Okay.
And he was, and then it comes to fruition. Trump does say some wild shit. He does some wild shit. He says what he's gonna do.
That's what's crazy. That's what's been crazy. All the people in the beginning that were like, hey, he's bluffing, he's saying this, he's just doing everything he says so far. He's just doing. That's the difference between. That's Trump 2.0. That's like the difference between the first Trump and this Trump. This guy's doing everything he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too, that people grasp so closely with him, right, or like him because he does what he says he's going to do.
Yeah.
Whereas, most politicians say, I'm going to do this and do this and this.
And they'll do shit.
And then, when they get into the White House, they don't do anything.
Or they do the opposite sometimes.
Yeah. And so, he's actually doing what he said he's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has anybody bought that $5 million immigration thing yet?
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah. Crazy. Also that we talked about, while you're looking that up, the dire wolves.
Yeah.
So a couple things. So we were talking, first of all, there's your initial reaction everybody has of what the fuck? Is this Jurassic Park? What are we doing trying to bring back extinct species? But then I did a bit of a deep dive on it, started going to some reputable scientific resources, people that I trust, and they're making it sound like they brought back this extinct species like they did in Jurassic Park, right? This was not, it's not the same. It's not, they don't have the full spectrum of all DNA, right? So they're mixing it with other things. They used a gray wolf as the base, and they're making these claims that the gray wolf is super closely related. But just looking at all the experts on DNA and genetic evolutionary, what am I trying to say? Evolutionary scientists, the people that are looking at this stuff are saying gray wolves are completely very different than dire wolves were. So this thing that we're looking at now is actually a new species. Oh, so that's the thing, which that's actually more frightening to me,
right?
That you're just creating species. If you just brought back something God created and it died off, you're already fucking around.
Yeah,
but I don't know. What do you think? What are your thoughts on all this shit?
Man, dude, we're just creating so many weird ass things, right? Even with animals, right? You have these weird hybrid pets.
Mm-hmm.
You have these designer cats that are the size of dogs.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a fucking cat that's the size of a dog, bro.
Yeah.
Because once, because if you're petting a cat, right? Petting a cat, there's a point in the time the cat doesn't want to be pet anymore.
Right.
And it fucking wants to bite you. Now imagine that thing the fucking size of a dog trying to bite you and claw you.
Right.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Like there's that too. Like, why are we?
Why can't we?
Well, the argument is that they want to fill some specific spot in like a niche in the in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we can like find, if we could find a dire wolf would kind of fit like this, if it would do these things, we could slip it right in. But like, what are you talking about?
Slip it right in.
What are you talking about? Like that? There's so many. It's like so many variables involved to be like there's no specific talk about like where are you wanting to do this, because to me that seems like that's their end goal.
Yeah,
they want to eventually put these things out there somewhere.
Yeah,
and have fucking dire wolves out in the wild.
Yeah,
or like they're not even dire wolves; they're like dire wolf, gray wolf hybrid.
Yeah,
modern
just
creations.
like they did in Jurassic Park, right? And they used frog DNA to help.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it was. You have to forgive me, dude. I am struggling over here.
No, you're good.
Stupid ass. Cold.
Like, why can't? Like, we're trying to like create these hybrid things. Like, why can't we just like make smaller of things? Like, how adorable would it be to have like a fucking cat-sized rhino? I want a fucking cat-sized rhino.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how adorable that would be?
Well, where does it end? If we start just creating whatever the fuck we want, where does it end? I
just want a cat-sized rhino, or like maybe like a dolphin-sized blue whale. Like, can we just like
oh, cute little
to
baby
scale,
blue
right?
whale.
To scale, just like shrink things down, just
I feel like we're going to have the ability to do all that kind of
micronize
stuff.
things, right?
I mean, it is wild though. That's some cutting edge shit that we can actually do that.
Yeah.
That we can actually splice DNA in a way and like use some modern stuff and bring back like these old features. Because the other thing, the same company, the guy who runs the company, he went on Rogan, by the way. I listened to like 10 minutes. It was kind of boring, so I couldn't. So I went and just kind of researched what was going on. But their previous project was a woolly mouse.
A woolly mouse.
So they basically used like woolly mammoth DNA
Uh-huh.
to like cause it to have this thick mammoth coat, but it was a mouse. What are you guys doing? That's a lot of money. You know how much fucking money is going into all this research and all this work that they're doing in labs and stuff for what? What is your ultimate purpose here? Other than to entertain?
Here we are with cancer and AIDS. And
I know. You're just entertaining your whims. I want to make a woolly mouse. It'd be cool, right? I want to see what woolly mammoth hair would look like on a
mouse.
Mammal. Yeah.
On a mouse. I want to see how big I can get a mouse. Like, we don't want like again, like I want to see people do that. Instead of like maybe instead of miniaturizing things, like I said, like a tiny, like a cat-sized rhino. What if we had a fucking elephant-sized mouse? That's just so fucking dumb.
I don't know. Speaking of big though, and wolves, I was telling you right before the podcast, I found this one that's way bigger than a dire wolf.
Yeah, as you're saying.
This motherfucker. Let me see if I can get the actual dimensions on this thing. It's called Epikeon hyedeni is the scientific name of it or whatever. They call it a bone crushing dog. It existed between 12 and 6 million years ago. They think they were fully extinct by, well, maybe I'm confused on the years, so that doesn't matter. But here we go. 8 feet long.
8 feet long. Okay.
3 feet tall at shoulder. And weighed 220 to 276 pounds. But so far, the largest ever found weighed in at an astounding 370 pounds. To put that size into perspective, these wolves grew roughly to the size of a large grizzly bear or an African lion. Thank God we didn't live then, buddy. Can you imagine if you had to worry that we've talked? I love these topics when we do these deep dives on short-faced bear. We've talked about before the American lion, this enormous lion that was in North America. Yet we have another one here, bone crushing
dog. No, dude, it's dumb. It's like I was saying before. Like if we lived during like pterodactyls and shit, I would never have come out. I've never come out of that cave.
Right.
Didn't want to be scooped up by a fucking pterodactyl.
It is terrifying. It is terrifying to the idea of just getting swooped up. You walk out your door looking up like, this fucking thing just comes down and bone crushing, Joe.
Yeah.
Anything that swoops things up, if it was big enough to pick us up, it's going to crush your bones.
Yeah, it's going to claw you. And,
yeah. Oof.
Now imagine you have other things that are on the ground equally as terrifying. Just like I'd never come out. I'd be fucking.
We'd live underground, bro.
Yeah.
Just live underground.
Maybe there's an underground civilization right now that has never emerged because they think that there's fucking pterodactyls still in the world.
I guarantee you there's people out there that believe that. There's 6 Reddits about that right now. Somebody's typing.
Did you guys hear on the Mike and Tony show?
Yeah. Yeah.
There might be an underground civilization happening.
Yeah. There's so many crazy theories. People have so many wild ideas.
Yeah.
And the truth is you can't knock them that much because we're so cocky to think we know. We don't know shit. There might be. What if we found that out tomorrow?
Well, there's still like the Middle Earth idea, right? That there's still like a Middle Earth
really-ish
kind of a deal. Yeah.
Tell me about it. What do you mean? What's that from? That's from like Lord of the Rings or?
Well, it's that. I mean, also King Kong, like touches on that. The Godzilla and King Kong. Like there's another Earth below the crust. You know,
Second Earth.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's wild.
Yeah, that's super crazy. I don't know. But I just thinking back to a time when you had to fucking coexist with things like that. Giant ass wolves.
And you know, obviously you don't have the technology that we have now. So back then you just literally fucking rocks and sticks.
Yeah.
Trying to fend this 320-pound wolf off of you.
Bro, that's what I'm fascinated with is human history. Like anthropology.
Yeah.
Not
go back as
cultural
far back
anthropology
as
is
that,
very fascinating too, but evolutionary, physical anthropology. Like looking back, I sat and watched this. I watched the most boring videos sometimes. Like anybody else would be like, this old man is fucking needs a life. I watched like a 33-minute video, and it's like not a great video. It's just like sketches and pictures and things where it just shows them and it's got somebody narrating it. Had like, you know, I don't know. I want to say it probably had like 200 likes maybe or something. It was not a giant video.
201, Tony.
201. I did like it. I gotta give him some love. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it. Just walking through like human evolution as we understand it. The thing is, you always have to take that shit with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Ever since our pyramid blunder of like thinking there was shit under the pyramids, you know. I have
read everything.
I have tightened up my game. I unfollowed several different things, and I started following other people that I think are reputable and scientific and that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get carried away with too many conspiracy theories anymore. I'm changing my ways, Pierce.
Changing it, dude.
I'm going to be skeptical of all this shit. But looking at human evolution, we have to factor in that we have so little to work with. We've talked about it before, like Gigantopithecus, for example. This giant 8-foot fucking monstrous primate. We have one molar. We have a molar, dude. They found a molar, and then you see these sketches of this Gigantopithecus.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking tooth. Maybe he just had big ass teeth, and he was 3 feet tall.
Maybe a gigantism, and you know.
No, but anyway, but like Australopithecus africanus. The whole Ardensis line, like there's it's fascinating to look at the anatomical differences because some of these we do have fairly complete skeletons for, and you could see like the differences in the joints, and we could tell when we started walking upright. And everyone talks about that like it's such a big mystery, but I think it's probably the same time we started hunting, right?
Yeah. So I mean, human history has been around for 300,000-ish years, right? That's what they're saying.
Okay,
humans have
been
around.
That's widely accepted.
Yeah,
yep.
The widely accepted. So in those times, about 300,000 years ago, we're having woolly mammoths, we're having giant sloths, saber-toothed cats were actually around then.
Mm-hmm.
Mastodons, this is glyptodonts, were like animals that look like armadillos, like giant mammal armadillos.
Holy shit!
Dwarf elephants. So there are tiny elephants and cave bears.
Mm.
And then obviously like muskox, caribous, wolves, sheep,
sure,
you know, and bears and all that stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't have to mess around with the bone crushing wolf 1.18 million years ago or anything like that. So
yeah, evolution is fascinating in general. Do you think if you go back far enough to like mammals' common ancestor, right? You go back to these like little mammals that eventually led to us that had to survive with Tyrannosaurus rexes running around.
Oh my God.
Imagine being like the size of a chipmunk and living in the world of Tyrannosauruses. Even now, we would be way smaller, and that would be tough.
Oh yeah,
right. That'd be scary as hell.
Yeah.
But to be the size of a fucking chipmunk, you might argue it's better because you can hide easier and get away.
Yeah.
And maybe a Tyrannosaurus Rex isn't really trying to eat you, but there's tons of velociraptors, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's definitely something trying to eat you.
Yeah.
100%. Because the world was not dominated by mammals back then, you know?
No, it wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And that's wild.
Whole different thing.
And, that's the other thing, too, to think about as well. Like giant animals, can be fast at times, but because of their enormous size, they're not going to be like, ridiculously fast. So, to think about like, Tyrannosaurus Rex and everything like that, like we don't know how fucking fast they were. Those are giant animals. Huh? They could have been slow as fuck. Just opportunistic, right? To whatever was right there. If something was within them, it's like Duchess, my dog, right? Duchess is gigantic, right? But she's not going to catch you. Like, she'll catch a human. But like another fucking dog or anything like that, a cat like that,
she's gonna be slow.
She's gonna, she can get smoked all day. Yeah. But the minute she catches it,
it's like watching the combine, combine when you see giant athletes that are really fast.
Yeah.
It really blows your mind because it's rare. It's not. Yeah. That's not typically how it works. Yeah. Because what I also think about is like with Tyrannosaurus Rex and the giant reptile or dinosaurs or whatever. I wonder how they got so big, because most of the time when we're looking at evolutionary history, animals that get really big, it's due to a cold environment.
Yeah,
and it's because they're like mammals and shit, because they're warm blooded, but dinosaurs weren't warm blooded. So it makes me wonder what drove them to just be larger and larger. I wonder if it's just competition. Because there's a lot of instances.
Things have actually gotten smaller, right? As we've progressed on, except for humans. Humans have gotten bigger.
Yeah, I don't know that there's one general trend for everything.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, when you look back on certain periods, like when you look back on, I wish I knew all the specifics.
Well, like our lions aren't as big as a saber-toothed fucking tiger was.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Well, that's what I was going to say. There's periods where they called it like megafauna, like even the plants and trees were enormous.
Yeah. The woolly mammoth was way fucking bigger than a, Asian.
You know what's fascinating too is fucking trees.
Yeah.
Trees. There are trees in the world that are so old, dude.
Yeah.
Like millions of years old.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same fucking tree.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me to think about. That there's plenty of trees on this planet that were here when Jesus was around. That's only a couple thousand years ago. Right? Isn't that crazy to think? That's why I think plants like exist in a different plane of time. You know what I mean? They've got to experience time in a different way. They for sure experience physical reality in a different way because they're rooted. They're literally grounded. So they don't move or walk around.
Actually, the oldest tree, dollars, not millions.
Oh, good. I love that we got to start fact checking live.
The oldest known individual tree in the world is the Methuselah, a Great Basin bristlecone pine.
Yes.
Located in the forest of the White Mountains of California. It's estimated to be about 4,853 years old. That's still a fucking shit ton of
that's still
time,
old.
Bro.
Yeah, I literally said millions. That's embarrassing. But absolutely, 4,000-year-old tree, dude. And it's funny you mentioned that because I read a book a long time ago that got me super into trees. And I've got like a tree guidebook or whatever, like a tree. It's like all the different trees in North America. But the bristlecone pine, I remember, and they're crazy looking. They kind of like the branches like sort of twist and come out, and they don't have a lot of green. They have like just a little, and they survive in really shitty arid conditions.
So this tree was well established by the time the Egyptians built the pyramids of Giza.
Wow. Whoa.
That's wild, bro.
I'm fucking dumbfounded to think about a tree that old. Yeah. Damn. I don't even know what to say after that, because we always talk about like time being an illusion. And if time, I think in a previous episode, we talked about if time didn't really exist, if it went away, we'd have no understanding of what the universe is. But think about trees. They have to experience time so differently.
Oh my God. This one right here, it tells you before that tree, there's a different tree, Prometheus, was
the name
was 4,900 plus years old. So the year that it germinated was like 2,900 BC.
Shut up.
But guess what? Some fucking dude named Donald Rusk Curry chopped it down in 1964.
This fucking asshole.
Jesus.
He built a campfire.
Oh, dude.
Like, why? Why did he cut it down? Was it on private land? I wonder.
Know, dude. He just fucking cut it down. He was an American professor of geography, well known in academia for his extensive research and exploration of relics in ancient Lake Bonneville in the Eastern Great Basin. He was best known for the public controversial felling of Prometheus, the oldest living non-clonal organism known at the time.
This dude.
Yeah.
This dude. It's like a 5,000-year-old tree.
Yeah, essentially.
Gosh.
In 1963, Curry was a graduate student at the University of North Carolina. That's right there. Fucking UNC.
UNC.
Under a fellowship from the National Science Foundation, Curry was studying the climate dynamics of the Little Ice Age. And he was looking at the Bristlecone pine. So it was also a Bristlecone pine, Prometheus, in the California, Nevada area. And in 1963, Curry became aware of the Great Basin Bristlecone pine population over in that area. At the time he visited the park in 1964, he did not know that the previous researchers had examined that area. Based on the size and growth rate and growth forms of some of the trees, he became convinced that some were very old. Duh.
Wait, so did he know how old it was when he cut it down?
He took core samples. He began taking core samples just to check how old they were. He found that some of them were over 3,000 years old.
Whoa, bro.
Let's see, I'm just trying to see. After securing permission, the tree was cut and sectioned on August 6th, 1964, and several pieces of the sections hauled out to be processed, analyzed. To the surprise, not only old, but older than... To their surprise, they found out that it was the fucking oldest tree in the world, and they're like, fuck.
Ugh. Dude.
It took a few years for the information about the felling of Prometheus to reach public, but once it did, it was great controversy.
Oh, people were pissed. I'm pissed now, hearing about it way later to find out. See, that's the thing, is we act so impulsively as a species. We just do whatever. When sometimes, like this whole AI thing is a perfect example. We're just marching into a universe full of AI. No clue what we're doing. No understanding of the possible detrimental consequences for humanity. Here we are. And right before the show, me and you are having, ChatGPT roast us.
Yours was
dude, should I read it?
Yeah, this is kind of
I'll pull it up here. So for the listeners, if you ever try this, I use ChatGPT a lot. And also I think your phone picks up stuff while you're walking around too. So it just knew a surprising amount about me and went hard. It's because I went to my ChatGPT and I asked it to go ahead and roast me. And in fact, I started with Trump. I said, go ahead and write a roast of Donald Trump. I just wanted to see if it could actually do it. And it wrote a really light, way too friendly roast. I'm a Tony Hinchcliffe fan. I watch Kill Tony. I love comedy. I love roast battles. It needs to be harsh and absolutely un-PC for it to be good. You know what I mean? And it's got to be a little bit true. So I said, it offered me, it said, is this good, or do you want me to do one that's a little harsher, like a comedy roast battle style roast? And I said, yeah, that. And it tore Donald Trump a new one. I was literally laughing out loud. I was like, this is so fucking funny. This is crazy. ChatGPT can do it. So then I said, can you roast me?
I got it right here.
You got my roast or yours?
I got yours.
How do you got? Oh, I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. So this is ChatGPT. So it asked if I wanted a harsh roast or like a light one. I said, give me everything.
Yeah.
Fucking tear me a new one. And I almost cried.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this brave soul, 45 years old, still chasing that basketball dream like it owes him child support. You play basketball like you podcast consistently, passionately, and somehow still no one's watching. Which is a lie because we do have a lot of people watch. You've got bunions, anxiety, and a TikTok coloring channel, bro. You're like one scented candle away from becoming your Aunt Carol.
Which is hilarious. I don't have an Aunt Carol, but I got the message.
Yeah. You run a podcast called The Mike and Tony Show, but at this point, it might as well be two dads yelling into the void. Yeah. Episode 219, and still waiting for listener 220. Oh,
so fucked up.
Dang, dude.
We have way more. It's so stupid. 220.
By the way, ChatGPT, we have more than 220. We have thousands. Yeah. You're the math team lead that can subtract stress from your life.
That can't subtract stress.
Can't subtract stress from your life, and is still trying to multiply your podcast followers. Spoiler alert: 0 times anything is still 0, champ. Dang, dollar.
That one got me. The word champ, for whatever reason, dug into my soul.
And look, I respect the grind. Teacher by day, podcaster by night. Anxiety-ridden coloring influenced by whenever you feel safe to leave the house.
So fucked up.
You're like a midlife crisis with a Canva subscription. Do you have Canva?
I do have Canva. I fucking have Canva. Of course I have Canva. I'm a teacher.
But for real, you're out there doing what you love, staying creative, and putting yourself out there, which makes you way more successful than half the trolls who will ever show you shade.
Yeah, I like the little nice ending, and
because that's what they do at the end, right? Roast.
That's right. But oof, bro, I sent that to you. I was like, the first thing, I was just dumbfounded by how well it knew me.
Yeah,
and it knew to go after the podcast because I use it for the podcast stuff a lot.
Yeah,
even strategies on growing listeners, and I think it takes that information and just fucking slaps you in the face with it. But I asked for it. I wanted it. But it makes you think about ChatGPT and AI in general and the future and what are things going to look like. If you can just make that shit do whatever you want. At the same time, we can genetically engineer our own species of animals. Like, where is this all going, guys? It's not good. We're in a fucking horror movie. This is the calm before the storm.
This is why the aliens don't land. They just like fucking they're flying around looking down like, that shit's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they're doing, dollar.
Yeah. I was shocked though. ChatGPT, try it. If you have ChatGPT or a similar app, try it. Have it give you a roast. What's the one you use? Because yours was nice.
That was ChatGPT.
That was ChatGPT?
Because I don't think I use it as frequently as you.
Well, it was so nice to you.
Yeah.
It was, and you said do a harsher one, and it was still nicer. Pretty nice. Yeah. No, mine dug at my soul, which I love as a comedy fan. I'm like, fucking nailed it. That's wild that artificial intelligence can come up with such a good slam like that.
That was a harsh one, dollar.
Yeah, don't tell ChatGPT too much. Use that shit against you, bro.
That's good. That's when Skynet comes on and starts digging at people that's like iffy about themselves and brings down the society. Puts everybody into a depression, and then the machines take over because they're like, they don't want to fight us. They're too sad. They're too sad right now.
Yeah.
We just roasted all of them. Like, damn.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder where all that stuff is going, though, in the future for all of us, you know? What does life look like in 50 years?
I don't know. No, I told you, when I was a kid, they did that whole thing like, I was in first grade. You are the class of 2000. What is it going to look like in the year 2000? Yeah. And I was like, oh man, because I was a fucking kid, right? I was a kid then, right? And so obviously I was a kid then. But like in year 2000, like Jetsons were fucking on when I was in first grade, dude. And so I was like, fuck yeah, man, we're going to be flying cars. We're all going to fucking living. We're going to be living in the sky, bro. Just Insta food and having robot maids and everything and having aliens as pets and shit like that. Like I really thought that was going to happen. I was like, that shit's going to be real. And then Back to the Future came out, right? And then you're like, bro, dude, like we're gonna have fucking, hoverboards. We thought
all that was what the fuck? Why don't we have hoverboards? We don't have flying cars.
No,
it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
because the idea of having 3-dimensional like road space is so fascinating in that movie, right?
Right. And the other thing too, I always cracked up about that, like on movies, was that everybody was still following like an imaginary road in the sky. Like I would imagine probably you would have to have some kind of like road in the sky because fucking people just can't be like, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
Well, don't you
whoosh,
think it would
whoosh,
be
whoosh,
more
whoosh,
like
whoosh,
how the
everywhere?
electric vehicles are going and stuff now? The EVs where it's like auto drive and
No, just following.
yeah, just like a smart
path.
driver where
Yeah.
it just takes the car and you just become like a passenger.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
No, that's what I thought. Like, I thought 50 years from now it was going to be like that. Still nothing.
Hey, I see this thing popping up right now. I've got my Google open. ChatGPT 4.5 crosses the Turing test threshold. Isn't the Turing test that thing? It's like the uncanny valley. It's like you can compare different things that are generated, and if it's not close at all, it doesn't bother humans. Like if it's a cartoon drawing of a dog, for example. But then if it's like really close to a real dog, but not quite,
Yeah.
it does something. And that's, I think, maybe I'm misspeaking. The listener can help us out if I'm wrong on that shit. But I think that's what the Turing test is.
Huh.
And so it's saying ChatGPT is getting to that point where it can fool a human. Yay.
There's a lot of fucking AI videos out there, like on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, and you can tell what videos are AI. You know,
Oh, yeah.
they still haven't perfected everything. You know,
No, they have a ways to go, I think, with all that still. You know? Does any of that shit bother you, Pierce? Do you worry about any of that stuff?
no.
I feel like you don't. I feel like you don't worry about much of anything. But because I think a lot of the crazy shit's coming. I don't know. I was going to say we probably won't see it in our lifetime. Like the really crazy shit. But is that just a disease of being human that we always think that crazy shit's in the future?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what is legit though is how you always look back on previous times and wonder how the fuck those people survived. You're like, how on earth did people survive?
Yeah.
When they were living outdoors and being nomadic and evading giant predators. And you're just like, oh, I'm so glad. And then even you look back at, the 1700s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, how did people not shower every day? How'd you wear the same clothes for 6 months?
Stub a fucking toe and die.
Stub a toe and die. Fucking everybody's got gangrene and shit. You know what I mean? There's no vaccines. People got dying of every kind of every virus
Just
out there.
infection, yeah. Like you said, you'd stub a toe and get a fucking infection.
Yeah, this chest thing I got right now, fatal back then. Fucking, you're dead. You're dead. Just kidding. I don't know. But
it's true.
It is true though.
You know, you got a sickness and
yeah,
you were gonna die, dude.
I know. So, but then it does beg the question. So, will people in the future look back on us, be like, "Oh, they were raw dogging it, bro. They were just coming out with bidets back then.
Just go out with the days.
Bidets, you know?
Oh my god.
Fucking people walking around with stinky asses.
It's dirty
How
ass
did they
all
do
the
it?
time. Just
Is that what they'll say though? I don't know what they'll say.
the 3 seashells from Demolition Man.
Remind me, what is that?
The 3 seashells, like when Sylvester Stallone came like out of cryo freeze and he had to go use the bathroom and he was like, the 3 seashells. I don't know what the 3 seashells is. And they were like,
yeah.
"Oh, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Which is
I don't know.
Yeah, kind of a weird idea when you look back on that to think about it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the future generations will think about us back then. What's like we've talked about before. One thing that is really fascinating is the fact that we're the last of the Mohicans, brother. When it comes to internet, pre-internet, there's not a lot of people are gonna. Eventually, we're all gonna be gone, and no one is gonna know what the world was like before. I mean, they'll have stories.
Yeah,
they'll have history. The other thing is all our kids' lives are fucking recorded, dude.
Yeah.
Everything. And then we're walking around with these phones. I mean, ChatGPT roasted me. Some of that shit I haven't asked it about before. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me very nervous. Like, I think, like, where's the line? Because it's all listening and recording.
All the time, yeah.
Exactly how it's being used and where it's going, that part we don't really know. Most likely, I think still to this day, most of the time, it's being used for marketing.
Yeah. Did you delete your 23andMe, by the way? You did. You said that. You did, right?
What are you talking about?
The 23andMe, the data? Didn't you do the 23andMe?
I did. What are you talking about?
They went bankrupt, dollar. They're selling off the company, and so whoever they sell it to,
can you still?
Yeah, you can still delete it.
You can still delete it.
I'll show you
now.
after the podcast.
Okay, after the podcast.
Yeah.
After the podcast, this is not
because your data is in their system, and they're just going to sell it to whoever, and they can do whatever they want.
Fuck that, bro.
Yeah,
and they can. We signed off on that. Is that like one of those little waivers I signed? I've had it with the damn waivers, bro. Everything. It's like, read these 88 pages and you're just trying to get something done real quick, or you need something.
You can download your stuff like before they do it, like before they sell it and everything. So
you still have it on record?
Yes, you still have it on record and everything. But yeah, you can download it.
Is Ancestry.com still going?
Yeah. I didn't do that. I only did 2020.
Yeah, I didn't do that one either. Stuff. No, that's a wild thing. And now they have my DNA. They could go make another one of me.
Yeah, another time.
That was the first thing I thought with that direwolf thing. I was like, if they can just merge things and create, like if they got your DNA, they could just make another one of you. And that's going to be a thing for people's pets.
Ooh, just
because your dog died and you're like, I want my dog again. I want
Duchess again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought about it. I was like, because Zoe's getting pretty old.
Cemetery.
Oh, fuck.
That's like Pet Cemetery, but not.
No. Yeah, but I mean that would be a thing, right? That people would want to do is that you have a pet, you fall in love, it's part of your family.
Yep.
Have it for years. It's tragic because pets' lifespans are always shorter than most of the time in humans' cases. And so you could just literally have another one. Start from a puppy, have the whole life again.
Yeah.
But it's not really the same dog.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Because
it's not going to have the same. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what they say with clones, right? You'll have every. No, I guess it's just theory, right? That they'll have every memory that the previous one had.
I don't know how they would, but then how can I say that? Because we don't fucking understand memories exactly.
Yeah,
we don't know how that shit works. It's like the people claiming, wasn't there some company trying to say they were going to do head transplants? You seen this?
Yeah,
so stupid. That's
brain transplants. Yeah.
I don't care if they think it's real or not. That shit is not real. Brain transplant. Can you imagine?
Again, that's some RoboCop shit.
Right? It just becomes where do you, becomes where do you draw the line on like who is the person? You know what I mean? Because it's clearly not the one. We all know immediately. We're like, it's not the person with the body, right? It's the head part. That's the consciousness.
I saw a RoboCop meme, by the way.
A RoboCop meme.
Yeah, and it was like, this man's died in the line of service, and they brought him back and put him to work again.
Holy shit!
Right? They did. They brought him back from the dead, and they put him back to work.
Damn.
In the same line. That sucks.
Mm. What about longevity? You think that we are living longer than we have in a while, right? The age, but it slowly creeps up the average age.
It's not like
it's not like all of a sudden we're living to 315.
We're not hundreds. We're not we're barely past hundreds right now, right?
Yeah,
and that's but
I really want to watch that documentary on Netflix. That dude was like, I can't remember what it's called, but he's like a millionaire.
Okay.
Or maybe a billionaire, I don't know. But his whole life is dedicated to, he does everything. So he wakes up in the morning, he has like this regiment where he takes all these different things. He spends time in the red light therapy. He goes right into a cold plunge, does a hot sauna, gets a certain amount of exercise in. He eats nothing but perfectly grown organic food. He's like, and he wants to avoid death. He wants to live forever.
I don't think that's possible though. Right?
Because the forces of
aging.
The forces of being in a physical world don't stop.
Yeah.
You can prolong it maybe, but again, we're talking you can prolong it a bit. Maybe you make it to 103 or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? But no one's thinking, oh, you're going to do all this shit and live to 500. What if he did? Who could he tell? You know what I mean? You can't share that joy.
Yeah.
You can share it with their grandkids of the people who started the study with you. Like your grandkids. Like, I'm still kicking pretty good, huh? You're like, damn, yeah. 428, man.
Pappy.
That's wild.
Pappy, you're doing real good.
But also, you'd have to beg the question at that point, though. What
kind of life are you living? Yeah.
Well, that too. But if you're living to 428, like, how come we haven't done this for other people now, guys?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But yeah, what kind of life are you living? That's what I thought when I saw the trailer for the show, movie. Or is it a show or a movie?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's a series. I'm not sure. I can't even remember what it's called. But I kind of want to check it out. But what kind of life is that, bro?
Yeah.
You can't smoke a joint? You know what I mean? You can't fucking go out and have a beer at the bar with your friends if you want to.
Yeah.
You can't, he does everything. Not to mention, what else are you doing? Nothing. His whole day is like taking care of his physical body.
Yeah. That's a lot.
There's got to be something to be said for a healthy human being living.
Is he just like regular stature looking? Or is he like buff or huge?
No, not buff,
just
but
regular stature.
Just very fit. Yeah. He looks very, very fit. He's got a crazy CO2 max, and you know what I mean. Like he's like super athlete kind of
Ironman, basically.
Yeah, similar. But I don't know. I kind of want to check it out just to see. But every time I think about it, I'm just like, it'll just make me think of all the shit I don't do. You know what I mean? You can only do so much.
Yeah.
I was actually bummed out because I did not cold plunge as much as I wanted during the winter when it was cold.
Yeah.
I kind of told myself I'm going to do a lot of cold plunges when it gets cold. And then when it got cold, I didn't man up enough times. And then now it's getting warm. And I'm like, oh, now it's easy to cold plunge, but it's very hard to get your cold plunge cold.
Yeah.
Unless you're that dude. I mean, he probably has a fucking Joe Rogan style.
He has a cryogenic
cold plunge.
Cryogenic freezer. He cryogenically freezes himself a day.
Yeah. I just see him like going to bed and like shutting this thing in like laying in a refrigerator. But yeah, what kind of life is that? You have to enjoy life too, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing I always like that Fran always says, you got to enjoy life a little bit. You gotta enjoy life.
It's not, because living that way, is also not, I don't know. There's no longevity in that either.
Like I said, because me and you have talked about this, and I gave up alcohol a long time ago, and that was a fair trade. And I've thought about giving up weed many times. I think about it. But you're like, there is this thing about being human of like, we have vices, we have this quote unquote sinful nature. And there's a joy for me sitting out on the back porch smoking a joint on a July evening or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a great joy. But is it good for me? No.
Yeah.
Everybody, dude, if you had the fucking peanut butter chocolate pie from Denny's, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit is definitely giving you diabetes.
Yeah.
But do you want to give it up completely? Just have a slice now and again. It's fucking
not
delicious.
every day. Yeah.
Not every day.
Yeah.
No, why would you say that, Parasite? I don't do them every day.
Indulge.
Yeah, I haven't had one in
You're going to Denny's
years.
every day, dollar. We have other things to talk about.
Denny's is different. Denny's in general, it's not my top pick for a restaurant, but yeah, you can't. You think about all the things. Life is wearing on you. Gravity is wearing on you. The sun and UV rays, exposure to chemicals, all the shit you breathe into your lungs that is not pure, healthy oxygen, right? You can't escape that. The longer your body goes on, and you know how you know you can't escape? Look at a picture of yourself 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I, like me and you talk about, I know we're big guys and stuff, but like we are doing pretty good for our age.
Yeah.
As far as our health and how our physicals are going and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the same time,
in comparison to other people our ages, yeah.
Sure. But we're also enjoying the shit out of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're having a good time. And you're someone who that's always come natural for. I've always been fascinated by that because I have like that addictive personality, thing. It's part of the OCD. Like I got a lot going on there, and it's always like that. But you could always take it or leave it with just about anything. I feel like even stuff you like, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And then things that people are almost always super addicted to, like coffee, is probably the most. Yeah, it's past cigarettes. I'm sure cigarettes has gone way down.
Caffeine
now.
is the most addictive chemical.
Yeah, it's the most addictive, but I think it's probably the most widely used too.
Yeah. Yep.
And especially in the United States, maybe worldwide.
I mean, I was just drinking an energy drink. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah, we're all drinking it. But you could take it or leave it. You don't have to have coffee. I mean, you drink your coffee every day, but it's a medicinal thing. You drink it black and cold.
Yep.
Just to keep your digestive system regular or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be sad. Same with the energy drinks. Again, it's the indulging. I like it.
That's what I'm saying.
I like to drink the energy
There's a certain amount of joy.
But last year at this time was Lent, remember, and I gave up social media and energy drinks.
Yeah.
At this time.
I think that's a good thing to be able to do. To be able to take something that you really are into like that and take a break from it. Just know that you have the power to be able to not use it if you want.
Yeah.
To make that sacrifice like Jesus did. That's what Lent is all about. Yeah. No, I have a very addictive personality, and I have to be careful with everything. Everything that I indulge in. Luckily, things like weed they're sort of self-regulating.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you go too heavy on the weed, I mean, your life it's almost like it just comes to a halt.
Yeah.
Like nothing's happening. We've all seen that. The people that get up and smoke in the morning, they smoke later in the day, smoke in the afternoon, and they do that 7 days a week, and everything's about weed. If we're going to go do this, hey, I got to get some weed and go use it for that or whatever.
Yep.
There comes a point, and I think that's true of anything. That's why I really am a firm believer in moderation. I think you can't not be.
Oh, yeah.
I think moderation is the key to those things. Because we all cross that line, like, oh, this is joyful. This is joyful. This is too much. Drinking is the perfect example.
Oh yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, we're having a good time, feeling warm and happy, feeling loose, being honest, having good times, creating memories.
Yep.
Went too far.
Went too far.
Fuck. Oh no. The room is spinning. And I think that's true of anything.
Yeah.
You can enjoy cheeseburgers. They're good. Love me a hamburger. Love me a cheeseburger. 3 a day?
You die.
You die. Hey, you have heart disease.
Yeah.
100%.
Super size me guy. Perfect example.
Oh man, that's so sad, dude. He fucked himself up.
But yeah, but I mean,
irreparably.
just in moderation. Everything in moderation.
Mm. What is your favorite vice? And like, what is the thing that Mike Pierce likes the most that is probably considered generally not good for you or not healthy for
Generally
you?
not good for me. Jeez.
Is it the energy drinks? Maybe.
I mean, I can do without them.
Mm.
Like,
I'm not. I think you could do without anything. Honestly.
Well, yeah, I could. Yeah, I can do without anything. But like let's just say binging, right? I can't binge on an energy drink. I will die.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I will die.
People have.
Yeah, I will if I binged on that thing. I would say like binge wise, like let me think here. Like cookies, bro. I like cookies.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
We just had this conversation yesterday. So we had like a little family night last night. We were kind of goofing around playing some games that Jilly has on her Switch. But when we were eating dinner, we had a conversation about favorite desserts.
Yeah.
And I was really stuck for a while between brownies and cookies, but I landed on cookies. I was like, cookies is my... They're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, meant to be. Do you have a favorite cookie in particular?
I mean, my favorite cookie of all time is a white chocolate chip macadamia nut. Cookie, right? A soft cookie, you know, and
fresh out the oven.
Yeah, and like what is it called? Larry, something in Larry's, the protein cookie. They make a white chocolate chip macadamia
delicious,
protein cookie.
Huh?
It's just amazing, yeah. But no, I like that as a cookie. But you know, if there's like Oreos in front of me, like I'm gonna go through a couple sleeves, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem.
For me, I don't know if you're the same way. I'm not into Oreos unless I have
some milk. Yeah.
If I have milk, I'll go through a couple sleeves as well.
Yeah.
But if I don't have the milk, I might have one or two, and then it's overwhelming. Like I'm I'm not feeling it that much. But now, chocolate chip cookies, bro. Some fresh baked chocolate chip cookies.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesse makes these. Macaria makes these peanut butter cookies.
Okay.
I can't stop myself.
Ridiculous.
Just keep going.
Well, that was.
You're like, how many have I had? This isn't healthy.
Who was it? Like at Wyatt's memorial that we did for him. A family member had brought cookies, like home baked cookies, and they're from New Mexico.
Yeah,
dude, the things are like this big. You know, like probably like a $50 size.
Okay.
Dude, they were ridiculous. Like you can taste the butter in them. Like it was just like, dude, I was like mashing on these cookies, and she was all, "Do you want me to send you some home?" And I was like, "No, I do not need to be sent home with these, dude." I was like, "That's ridiculous as it is right now.
I can't be trusted with these."
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so I'd say like cookies. Like I'll mash on cookies. Like I said,
yeah, me too.
Go through a sleeve or. Mm-hmm. You know, or like Milano cookies.
Milanos. That's my jam.
That's, you know,
she
or
loves
some.
Those.
I think like, you know, it's ridiculous. Like when it's Christmassy time, those tins that your grandparents used to keep all the sewing stuff in, have like the butter cookies in.
Oh yeah,
dude, I'll go ham on some butter cookies.
Yeah, those are fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, dude.
Those are so good.
English butter cookies. Yeah,
there's something about them.
Biscuit, whatever.
So buttery. And perfect mix of crispy and buttery and flaky all at the same time. You know what I was thinking about recently that I love me some baklava. Have you ever had baklava before?
Baklava's good, yeah.
I found out it's not that unhealthy. I was asking my wife, I was like, what is
honey, right?
Yeah, it's like honey and
nuts.
Nuts, right? Yeah.
Pastry.
It's not nearly as bad as like a lot of other things. Like chocolate chip cookies, for example. I love like the big fat ones. You know what I'm a sucker for every once in a while, but it's like fast food cookie.
What?
It's like way too much fucking sugar. You ever gotten the Costco chocolate chip cookie?
Oh,
before?
dude, yeah. That is a ridiculously rich cookie.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. Don't eat the whole thing. If you've never gotten a Costco chocolate chip cookie, and I'm somebody who can sit down and put down some cookies, bro, don't eat the whole thing.
You can't.
Don't eat the whole thing.
If you eat that whole thing, that's impressive, by the way.
Yeah, well, and you've shown some grit because your body, it's one of
how rich it is, dude. There's so much chocolate in that thing.
We talked about this before about how long it takes food to get down and how so you should eat slowly so that you can feel when you get full and that kind of stuff. This cookie's, how big would you say a Costco cookie is? It's probably about like that.
This is going to age me. It's the size of a fucking CD.
Yeah, it's about the size of a CD. As far as circumference goes, right? But it's like way
thick,
thicker.
Yeah.
When you start eating that thing, you get. Once you hit the halfway point, I'm already feeling something. My body's already. Hold on. You keep going. You get to that 2/3 mark. You bail right there. Yep. You're still gonna have a stomach ache.
Yeah, because they've perfected the crunchiness on the outside, but the gooiness in the inside, right? That's what they've done. And yeah, there's so much fucking butter. You can taste the butter in it. Yeah. There's so many chocolate chips in that thing, dude. Like so
big
many
chunks. I love the fucking square chocolate chips. Yep. It's the best. All those thick. Best.
Yep.
Little bricks of chocolate.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They're so good. There's so many studies that go into all that stuff. They study the fuck out of that, Mike. Like how to make food palatable, like the way you were describing, the soft, squishy inside, like that's studied in depth that humans love that.
Yeah.
So much of what we like about food is not just the flavor and the taste, but it's the consistency,
the composition
how it crunches.
Yep.
It crunches, but it's not too hard, but it's got a soft middle. They study the shit out of that. Yep. They own us, bro.
Yeah.
They own the American public with all these fucking foods pumped with shit that's going to make you deeply addicted to it. We're talking about addictions, and we're talking about caffeine's the most addictive thing. Yeah. In America, it's got to be food, bro.
Oh yeah,
we're all so fat. It's crazy, and we're just living life.
We don't know portion sizing over here. Portion smortions.
I know.
Serving size, schmerging size, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you get older, man, I think you have less and less ability to tolerate that. I think you have to continue to work on health as you age. Otherwise, you're gonna fuck yourself up. What are you looking at over there?
No, nothing. I was looking at the dad jokes of the week.
Oh yeah. Oh, also, did you want to do a couple fun facts?
Yeah, some fun facts, dollar. So today is National Licorice Day.
Okay.
Today's also Only Child Day.
Only child.
That's what these national days are. There's a fucking national day for everything. Today's also National Yuri Day. That's the first time that somebody went to fucking space. Was today.
Okay.
Back in 1961. But here I got some. Let me pull these up here. Licorice. Licorice root has been used for thousands of years. It's in traditional medicine for its soothing properties that helps out with throat and digestive issues. And yeah, that's been around. Like, yeah, they've used.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that humans have used for like really long periods of time.
The flavor of licorice comes from how do you say this? The glycyrrhizin.
Glycyrrhizin.
Yeah, a compound that is about 50 times sweeter than sugar.
That sounds overwhelming.
50 times sweeter than sugar, bro.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
Just flooding that dopamine.
Yeah. I mean, and it's used in everything, right? The licorice flavor, it's like used in candy. It's used in
And not everybody likes licorice.
Yeah. No.
Right?
I can take licorice in like
small amounts.
Yeah. I don't like fucking just like some people get those little, what is it called? What are those candies that are covered in like a coating and it's a black licorice?
What? I didn't know about that.
Damn, I don't have to think about
What's on the inside?
Black licorice.
Oh, wait, what's coated on the outside?
It's candy coated. It's just candy coated black licorice. What is that fucking called?
I wonder what the candy on the outside of it is.
Candy coated black licorice. What's it called?
The things we Google.
What's it called? I know it's called something.
It's all called candy coated black licorice.
I mean, that's what most of these things are. What is the brand of the candy called?
Yeah, Yeah, not everybody is into it. Some people like it a lot. Those people are pretty rare.
Yeah. Good and plenty.
Okay.
These $. Those. You've seen that before. The white and pink.
Oh,
ones.
yeah. Here, hold your thing up. Yeah.
Good and plenty. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't like those. I can do without those.
Wait, what was the day today? It's National what?
Licorice Day.
And then what was the other one?
Uri Day, which is the man.
That's it. There was only
space.
two.
Well, and Only Child Day.
Only Child Day. That
also,
was the one I was trying
also Grilled Cheese Day, technically, but that's, not really.
I do like a good grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, I like an adult grilled cheese with bacon.
Oh fuck yeah, bud!
And some tomato soup.
Yes.
Let's see here. Despite its popularity, licorice can also cause health concerns if you consume a large amounts of it. Because of that, the thing that it's sweeter than sugar.
Sure. Yeah.
You can lead to high blood pressure.
High blood pressure from licorice?
Yeah, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I started eating every day?
What's that?
It's a natural way to lower blood pressure in general.
What?
Grapefruit.
Really?
I eat half a grapefruit every day. No, I'm not a fan.
I hate grapefruit, bro.
No, dude, I don't like the taste of it. But I get through it every day because it's tried and true. And you know whose favorite fruit that was of all time? Bob Marley.
Really?
Yeah. Used to eat a grapefruit every day too.
No, I can't do it, dude.
And last time I was in, my blood pressure was fine. But it's been high before. It goes through times. I think when my stress is high, probably.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks, dude. Even if you can control your diet and exercise, and if I lost a few pounds, there's skinny people walking around all the time with fucking blood pressure through the roof because of stress.
Yep.
Stress really, really does it to you.
Well, since we did some fun facts here, let me tell you some dad jokes. Remember, I get some of these dad jokes from one of our listeners, Michelle.
Okay.
She
just keeps sending them.
Yeah, she just sends them to
Michelle,
me.
Shout out to Michelle right now, bro.
Yeah, Michelle's
awesome. Yes.
Her and her husband Jason, have gone out with them a couple of times. There's good people. There's people that you've met. There's people that you've met through other people, right?
Right.
And this is, these two, or in particular, I met through, used to be a really good friend, but just continuing on with the relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's an avid listener, and she likes to send me dad jokes. So this is one
Love
of
it. Okay, let's hear it.
a few of the dad jokes. What kind of insects do you find on the moon?
I don't know.
Lunatics.
Good one. What else you got?
What did the socks say to the pants?
I don't know.
Sup, britches. This one here, legit made me spout out loud. I was dying from this one. What do you say if you lose 25% of your roof?
We blew the roof off the place.
Oof.
I fucking love that one because that's one of my go-to texts and words. I say oof all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That one's hilarious, bro.
That is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
shout out to Michelle. She always
Thank you, Michelle. Round of applause for the dad jokes. This 46-year-old dad is greatly pleased by these. They're amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Only Child Day. I thought that was hilarious too.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have an only child. So
Yeah, what are you doing, bud?
it's every day. Only Child Day is every day for me.
I know. I feel like that's the same probably for like African American month.
Yeah.
Right? I'm black all the time.
Yeah.
Fuck. 30 days. As the music comes crashing into our ears today. Episode 227 in the bag.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little behind on getting episodes out, so you guys are going to get a couple here pretty quickly together.
But that's all right. Just more for people to listen to.
Follow us on TikTok at MikeTony00. What are we on YouTube? I forgot our...
It's the Mike and Tony Show. You can Google that too.
Yeah, the Mike and Tony Show. Go to
Same
YouTube.
with Insta, the Mike and Tony Show.
Yeah.
But next week we got Fat Track again.
Fat Track is next week.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He's going to come back, do some more music stuff for us.
Hell yeah.
And talk more, about the being a producer.
Love it.
Yeah. And with that, $, it is a wrap.
Cheers.